an introduction, and then each of us could talk about a different long-distance way to communicate, so that we're answering the questions like how far away are they, how often do you see them in person. We could use our own personal circumstance, but it would be good if each of us could have a different way, like somebody might use Skype, somebody might use Olu, somebody might, do something else. So it might be a good idea if we just maybe emailed each other on an idea that we had to make sure we don't double up.
So different method then to stay in
Right, so that we each cover a different method, but each method we would be able to answer the questions.
Okay.
So everyone would answer the questions concerning their own circumstance. So, let's say I picked gaming, and I decided that I'm going to talk about gaming and that I can communicate with my sister through an internet game. Somebody else might want to say, well, I have a relative in Europe, so I use Skype. And this is how often we go on to Skype. And then maybe Sharon could say, well, I still like to write letters or send an email. But if each of us had a different method that answered all the questions, then it might be kind of interesting, just because it talks about everybody will have their own story.
Yeah, I like that idea.
Just an idea.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a great idea, as long as we can come up with 6 different forms of long-distance communication. Otherwise, you might have to double up.
Yeah.
Are we also saying the type of friendship we have and how we maintain it? Because that's part of the question.
Yeah. So the type of relationship.
Yeah.
How we maintain.
I think it would also be good if someone maybe had a romantic relationship who was keeping up with. I know Carolyn's husband travels a lot, so maybe you could talk about that. I'm going to talk about my best friends actually being away and how we're keeping in contact and not to lose the closeness, and to just talk about everyday activities and problems and achievements, and how we share with Facebook and Nuvu and Skype and things like that.
I don't think we should overlook the obvious, and that is with the cohort and the Uhu.
Yeah.
Somebody could talk to that. I know personally I have relationships with relatives in Germany, and how I maintain that is by phone and by text and email.
Yeah, I have family in Australia, and it's all Facebook. That's all we use. So I'm open to talking about that one.
Perfect.
Okay. Well, do we want to do that? Maybe just roughly or tentatively. So Ashley, you pick Facebook to talk about.
Okay. Sounds good.
And Ladan, how do you communicate with your best friend? What do you guys do? Mostly Facebook, Skype, and MSN. So MSN? MSN Messenger and Skype. Okay. And phone. Linda, do you want to do gaming?
Yeah, I'll do gaming because I keep in touch with my sister and my nephew and niece through internet games that are they're global games. I don't have a lot of time to do a lot of it, but that's one way that I can communicate, and it's something a little bit different than what you have. So I'll do that one.
If I'm going to talk about my husband, it will definitely be a phone. That's pretty much, BlackBerry Messenger. That's kind of the only method at sometimes because he's in the middle of nowhere. So you're lucky if you get sometimes you don't even get that. But that would probably be, I could talk to that easily. So
sure.
I had that a long time ago. My husband worked far away, and I had one 5-minute radio phone call a week, and everybody could hear everything we said.
Oh, that's awful.
Not very personal.
No.
You're lucky with the cell phone technology the way it is now. It doesn't feel like he's that far away. So
Yeah.
and even
Sarah, what about you?
I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure. I mean, I use the phone. My best friend lives in Calgary, and she's on Facebook, but we never communicate on Facebook, and we hardly ever email because we have small kids, so we don't really have the time to do that. So it's mostly by phone where we both sort of make a date where we can sit and chat for 30 minutes kind of thing. But I don't have to think about it, actually.
Maybe you should invite your friend to Uvu now.
Yeah, I don't think so. She has a hard time getting, 10 minutes to have a shower.
Sheila, if you're going to post this, could we maybe, or I don't know if you guys are interested, how about if we put it in the discussions for our next week's? So that could be part of our interactions. Do you think it's okay?
What do you mean?
In our team discussion only or class discussion?
No, in the team discussions.
Okay. I'm okay with team discussion.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. I don't think I want the rest of the class seeing me like this.
No, me neither. Okay, well, I've been homesick all day, so that's why I look the way I do.
How are you feeling, Carolyn?
A little bit better, but last night was pretty bad. I didn't sleep much, so. Oh no. It's just, it was bound to happen sooner or later. I've been lucky that it's just happening now, so, oh well, I'll live. I think when you finish all your stuff, like you work so hard, and then when you're done I'm sort of waiting to get sick too. Once I've got 10 days, I'm sure I'm bound to come down with something. Yeah. How are you feeling, Ashley?
Okay. I went to the doctor on the weekend and I have a sinus infection now, so I'm on antibiotics, but I feel better than last week, so
good.
On the upswing.
That's good.
Yay.
Yeah.
Good.
I was just thinking, even if a couple of us have similar stories, they'll be different in that, it asks how many times do you see that person in person and how far away are they? Those are going to be different. So it's probably okay if we have a couple that are a similar medium but a different situation.
Right.
Well,
And then do we want to relate our answers to textbook content as well, like reference the textbook in our conversation, each of us?
Yeah, I think she wants us to do so.
Okay.
Maybe not the whole answer, but at least a couple of concepts of it if you can get it. That's how I answered it.
I was thinking maybe of just a basic discussion in Moodle, the way we normally do. We each decide who we would talk about and maybe write a couple sentences so we each have an idea when we come back to this discussion what we're going to say, and then that way we could hook in that discussion so that Fiona will see that, and then it's easier for us as well when we have the discussion because we already sort of know what we're going to say, but we'll keep it casual when we record.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, sure. That's a good idea.
Yeah. And that way if we are overlapping or we have ideas or something, we can kind of sort that all out in Moodle before we actually sit down and record.
Sure.
Sounds good.
Okay. So
I was also thinking,
sorry. Go ahead.
sorry.
That's okay, Linda.
I was just thinking for the introduction. In the introduction, we can try to do a summary of the chapter so that, maybe we have some key concepts in the introduction and again in the conclusion. And I don't mind drafting an introduction just to sort of lead into the individual situation. If people, that's okay, I don't mind, giving a crack at it.
Okay.
Sure.
That would be great, Linda.
Yeah.
And then
It's a long chapter, though. It's a very long
Once I
chapter.
have a draft, yeah, and I'll just try to find some key concepts and not have it too lengthy, but I'll just post it as a draft and then you can all contribute as well.
Great idea.
Okay.